Welcome back to Claudette's Craft Corner. Alright, so in this video I just want to talk a little bit about my plans for the next year. And when I was at our local fair a week or, not quite 2 weeks ago, I had not had a chance to enter any of my projects into the fair, which kind of saddened me, but I had to take care of some family things during the time of entry, and I wasn't prepared to do it on the fly. So it kind of got me thinking. I'm like, I really need to sort of buckle down this year and get things straight and figure out what I'm doing. So while we were there, we were talking to, and that's me and my husband, we're talking to the ladies that were running the hall. This is one of the first years that they have run the hall, and somebody else had been doing it for a very long time previously. So they are working on improving things. And as we were talking, the two of them had been talking to each other prior to that, and they were talking about they were going to give each other a challenge to do 12 projects in 12 months. And I thought, that's actually a great idea. If I give myself a goal, give myself, something, and it's fun for me to do. I don't find this to be work in any way, shape, or form, because I enjoy doing it. So I think giving myself a goal like that should help immensely. And I'll actually maybe have some projects to enter at the fair next year. And then I'll have a much more fun video. I do have footage of the fair and walking around the hall and that. I just have to edit it, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet. So you probably will see a short video on that and what we did see there. So having said that, now the other thing, one thing that I have marked down for my craft channel, I've been writing down ideas and things for both my channels. So this one, the first thing I said, organize work area, which has been an ongoing battle for quite a while now. I usually get to getting some of it done, it starts to look good, and then something happens and wow, it's all over the place again. So what I've done, I've broken down the things I like to do the most into 4 or 5. Number 1 is quilting. That's where I relax the most. I enjoy doing that the most. And it's the one that I put the most time into. So sewing projects, and when I say quilting, I don't mean just quilts. I mean like any kind of quilting type projects, or I should say quilting / sewing. And I also have, let's see, and this is probably going to be my October goal. And I have to, and this is why, another reason why I have to clean this room, because I know all the stuff is in here, but I think it's scattered. I started a project last year making a cloak and a vest for my husband for Halloween. Now, I got the cloak about 90% done, enough so that he could wear that to a Halloween party. And I never got to working on the vest. So I think that's going to be, once I finish the Farm Mall quilt, and yes, I'm going to cheat a little bit. In the Farm Mall quilt, all I have left is the binding. I get that on and it's done. But I machine stitch the front of the binding, and then I hand sew the back. So that's still going to take me a little bit, but I'm going to cheat a little bit. And I'm going to use that for my September project. Even though that is like 95% done. And um, I don't want to stress myself out with this, but I really want to try to follow this and give myself a monthly goal of a project and finishing the project. That's my other problem, is not finishing stuff and moving on to other things. Um, okay, so quilting and sewing is my number one go-to projects. Number two is weaving. You haven't even seen me do that because I haven't even done that in probably 3 or 4 years. I have my rigid heddle out. I have everything for it. I just need to sit down, get a project in my head, and just start working on it, which I will film. So weaving is the next one down, and I do enjoy that the most. Once it's all set up, it's like I'll bring that upstairs and I can work on that. And usually those projects go fairly fast, even the larger ones, because once I get into it, I have a hard time stopping. So yes, weaving. When you find something that you really get into and you don't want to stop, that's got to be right up there. And then the next one would be knitting / crochet. These are things I need to work on. I need to work on different stitches for knitting, different stitches for crochet. I'd like to try and do like a granny square quilt, a nice big one. My mom used to do those, and I'd really love to try and do one of those for myself. I definitely have the yarn to do it. I just have to actually sit down and work on doing that. So that's another one. And also, yeah, I do like working with yarn. I also have a machine. It's a hat machine. I know there's a specific name for it, and I think it's in a different language, and I can't remember what it is, but I actually found that machine the other day. So definitely going to be doing a video on that shortly. And let's see. So, scrapbook and picture projects. I actually don't have any down here, but I used to love doing this, either working through the computer or just doing scrapbook type pictures, collages, things like that I hang throughout my walls in the house. So I'd like to get back into that again, or making picture albums. So that's another thing I enjoy. And now the last thing, and the reason it's last, is because I haven't really worked with it. I've made a couple of small projects, but it's the Cricut. I need to make some time to do some projects on that, and just start working with it and see what I can do. I mean, I have a lot of ideas and uses that I could probably do with it, but I just can't. I just haven't gotten that out to work on. So those are the 5 things that I enjoy the most, where I get the most joy. Now, I also like doing cross stitching, but it's usually I do a larger project, and it's time consuming. So that one might take a back seat, or it might come up forward. It depends on where I'm at. So I don't know if I would use that for the monthly challenge, because like I said, sometimes I get into them, but they're usually a little more time consuming for me. So I don't know if I would use one of those for that challenge, because it might be something that I just fill in here and there. Because that's another thing, like I could take, with me, like on a day trip somewhere, or if I'm sitting and, waiting for my husband in a store or something, I can sit and work on that in the car or something like that. So those are nice little hand project type things. But what I have decided is while I'm cleaning, I've got to make different piles. I'm going to have a fabric stash pile, and I've got to work on some more unique ways of organizing the fabric and figure out, because I also have not just regular quilting fabric, I also have a fair amount of felt, and felt is a little thicker and a little bit harder to store. So I'm going to have to come up with some things there. And pretty much as I'm going through the pile here, if what I'm looking at does not fall into one of these categories, then it's got to get purged out. Or it doesn't belong in here. You know, and maybe it's like a Halloween, like, let's see, like this. Now, this is something I just picked up from a tag sale. Kind of actually a little while back. But we're in September, so as far as I'm concerned, I can start putting these things out as of September 1st. So, you know, if I find my Halloween stuff as I go, I will probably start decorating upstairs with Halloween. But yeah. So if it doesn't fall into one of the categories, if it does, it's not used with quilting, if it's not used, you know, with knitting or anything like that, then, you know, I'm going to have to purge it out and figure out, am I going to donate it? Am I going to try to tag sale it? Am I going to, you know, depending on what it is, maybe it's something that I could put in for a giveaway. I really just got to make a giveaway box, I think. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with this. So it's going to be a 12-month challenge. September is going to be finishing the Farmall quilt. I have one more video for that, or I'm going to do one more video for that. Fly down here. And then that will be done. That will be my September project. So, and I think what my October project is going to be, and I'm probably, Jesus, God, fly. What I am going to use for my October project is getting everything together for my husband's costume, and see if I can finish that for him in October. And that is actually one of the entries for the fair next year, is a homemade costume. So please like and subscribe, and hopefully, you know, I'm giving myself a challenge here, so we'll see. You'll see how I do on this, and share the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.